It's my favourite event on tour, just as a venue. You know, it's a great venue, great tournament. It's a real community spirit behind the whole event.
You look around and you suddenly realise why you love the place so much. It's one of the most beautiful places on earth, I think.
The view is truly spectacular. It's hard to describe it. It's like trying to describe the Grand Canyon to someone that haven't seen it, but it's unique in golf.
A sumptuous venue for a prestigious tournament. The inaugural Omega European Masters was staged at Cronk-sur-Sierre in 2001. It was endorsed by a galaxy of prestigious supporting sponsors. It attracted large and enthusiastic cosmopolitan galleries, as well as a glamorous field, including Severiano Ballesteros on the course he'd redesigned 2 years earlier. Sadly for the Spanish maestro, he failed to add to his 3 previous titles there. Argentina's Eduardo Romero made a stout defence of the event he won in 2000, but the trophy was to go to his compatriot Ricardo Gonzalez. The 31-year-old from Formosa was in devastating form. Having opened with a first-round 65, his booming drives and deft touch around the greens enabled him to lead from start to finish to celebrate a 3-shot maiden victory. And enjoy a champagne party at the end, with a spot of trick cycling from one of his fans thrown in. 12 months on, Omega ambassador Cindy Crawford, Stephen Urquhart, president of Omega, and Ernie Els joined guests at a pre-tournament cocktail party. And when it got to the golf, the 6 feet 5 inch Robert Carlson proved invincible, leading wire to wire. Not even boisterous winds on the final day could topple the lanky Swede, or 3 bogeys in a row from the second in his closing round, and he went on to beat the field by 4 shots to register his 6th victory on the European Tour. Cindy Crawford returned to Cronk in 2003 in the company of French model and actress Estelle Lefebvre, who teamed up with Sergio Garcia against Els and Crawford in a glamorous putting competition which saw Els and partner triumph. There was at least 1 eagle recorded, and the 3-time major champion was presented with an Omega watch for his troubles. Not only that, Els, an Omega ambassador, was inspired by the spectacular alpine surroundings. He proceeded to give a golfing masterclass in the final round, shooting a closing 65 to leave the field 6 shots in arrears. It was the South African's 6th win of the year worldwide, and the family were there to add their congratulations as he awaited the donning of the coveted red jacket.
Where's the red jacket? I want the green jacket.
We have a red jacket for it.
There was another warm Swiss welcome for another world-class field when Els, then the world's number 3, defended the trophy in 2004. But this time the Big Easy had to surrender the spotlight to a 26-year-old Englishman, Luke Donald. A former Walker Cup player, Donald had been offered a Ryder Cup wildcard the week before and celebrated in style in Switzerland. Trailing by 1 going into Sunday, Donald opened with an eagle 3 at the first to lead the field, and there he stayed. 2 birdies to finish secured a handsome 5-shot victory, his 2nd European Tour title inside 5 weeks. But who was to reach the top in 2005? Donald made an impressive defence of the title. He finished tied 4th, but it was Omega ambassador Sergio Garcia who was to grace the winner's enclosure. Garcia led the field by 3 at the halfway stage. A 3rd round 71 had him 1 ahead, and having shared top spot with Peter Gustafsson with holes running out on Sunday, another inspired moment from off the green at the 16th gave the Spaniard the slenderest of leads. It had been an emotional week for Garcia, who'd heard that a close friend had died at the weekend, and so, having secured the title with a par at the last, he dedicated his victory in her memory. The precociously talented Omega ambassador Michelle Wie from Hawaii took on the men at Cronk in 2006 and brought her homework to the mountains as well. For 2 days she attracted huge galleries before failing to make the weekend. But then there were always people like Jarmo Sandelin to provide alternative entertainment. charismatic Swede in his element. He finished 40th, but Welshman Bradley Dredge, meanwhile, was heading inexorably towards his first win on tour for 3 years. Dredge, who with Stephen Dodd won the WGC Algarve World Cup the previous year, held a 2-shot lead after 3 rounds, and on Sunday gradually extended his advantage to 8 by the time he'd holed out in front of a large gathering at the last. Bradley Dredge, the first victorious Welshman at Craw since Ian Woosnam triumphed here 24 years previously. Dredge had to be satisfied with 3rd place when he returned to defend the trophy, but for the affable Australian Brett Rumford it was a week to be cherished. He hadn't won for 3 years, 2007 had been unfulfilling until a sudden death playoff against Philip Archer at Craw, the first in Omega's sponsorship of the European Masters. It finished spectacularly in favour of the man from Perth. There were many tears at the end as Brett Rumford laid claim to the biggest European Tour prize of his career. Every vantage point was taken 12 months later as the prodigiously talented 19-year-old Rory McIlroy attempted to become the youngest winner of the title. And Jean-François Lucas sought his maiden victory. But it too was decided by a sudden death playoff. After halving the first extra hole, McIlroy's astonishing lapse of concentration was about to cost him dear. So, Lucas with 2 for the title. Only one was required, leading to French elation and Irish devastation. And Cron-sur-Sierre began to flood with that heady mix of French tears and champagne as Jean-François Lucas drowned in the trappings of triumph for the first time in his career. Omega ambassador Dr. Buzz Aldrin, the second astronaut to walk on the moon in 1969, joined the celebrities at the 2009 Omega European Masters when Bradley Dredge was again in contention on the last day. Suddenly leader Alex Noren was under threat, but the Swede imparted a little magic of his own at the 15th. Just what the doctor ordered, an eagle 3 to restore his 2-shot lead, which he maintained right to the finish. Noren's maiden win doubled his earnings for a season interrupted by knee and wrist injuries, and appropriately, with Buzz Aldrin in attendance, he was over the moon. The presence of Omega ambassador and 2-time Open champion Greg Norman graced the 10th anniversary of the Omega European Masters. There were 1 or 2 former champions in attendance as well. And as the golf got underway, the great white shark attracted his usual animated gallery. He wasn't to make it to the weekend, sadly, but Italy's Edoardo Molinari certainly was. Spellbinding challenge during the final round reduced leader Miguel Angel Jimenez's 6-shot lead to just 1, but the composed and confident Spaniard, making his 22nd successive trip to Cron-sur-Sierre, finally got his hands on the trophy for the first time. Once more, vast crowds circled the 18th as the popular Jimenez acknowledged their cheers and with a round of 67 and a total of 21 under par, collected his 3rd European Tour title of the year. At 46 years of age, the oldest winner of the Omega European Masters. Of all the great names on the roll of honour, Faldo, Olazabal, Woosnam, Ballesteros, Montgomery, there has surely been no bigger favourite in these parts than the man from Melbourne.